bring up, because when I learned, I love abstract expressionist art,
Yeah.
like the Jackson Pollock-y type of
Honestly.
stuff,
Yeah.
but I learned that one of the reasons that became so popular in the 40s and 50s was because the CIA specifically promoted it as a counter to Russian art at the time, which was very strict and realist. There was a lot of paintings of like, nature scenes or something. And the CIA put out a program that was literally like, hey, look at how great and cool the American art is compared to that stupid communist Russian godless art,
That's
and like,
amazing.
I know. And it's so frustrating because I still really enjoy the art, but I also know that history.
You know what else they were a big part of was the beat movement.
I know. Yes.
So, I mean, the thing is, that's what I've been telling people. All this like counterculture, subculture stuff that we think we are has been fed to us. And then they capitalize on it.
Yeah.
It's like we're allowed to do this. Nobody cares about even like semi-violent protests. That's our allowances.
Right.
Anybody who's read 1984 knows.
Yeah.
I mean, just you're allowed it.
It's crazy. It's crazy how prescient that book was, it definitely rings true. And that's a great segue into this discussion, man, because we got a lot of cool things that we are going to talk about. And I am excited, folks, because a good friend of mine has some time today. And so we are going to get to hang out with him and learn about some of the really, really kick-ass things that he has done. I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss this early in the video, but I've already done it. So fuck it. Jason Friedman, thank you for being here, brother.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Tell everybody just a little bit kind of about not only the work that you've done, but as everybody can clearly see, you've got a wall full of really sick guitars.
Oh, thanks, man.
So make sure to tell us about that too. Tell us who you are and what you do, man.
Well, my name's Jason Friedman. That's my real name. Pretty easy to find. Guess I doxed myself. Whatever. Let me see. Currently, outside of the full-time job of being a dad and a partner to my family, for what's pertinent to this right here, I currently do music in a couple bands that are very outspoken politically and socially and all those things. I sing in a band called Pack Mentality, and I play guitar in a band called The Burden. We tour when we can. We got some tours coming up, some records coming up, playing a bunch of shows. And we all openly speak out against everything that's kind of going on in this current regime. What am I allowed to talk about?
We can't endorse political candidates or denigrate political candidates.
Okay,
we can talk about our values.
Okay, so these current, but what we currently kind of speak out against is this current surge of Christian nationalist traditionalism that seeks to destroy the American way of life. We currently have a massive amount of domestic terrorists living in our country and making the rules and making really disgusting decisions that is driving wealth inequality through the roof and killing people. I'm not even being hyperbolic. We have an international, I don't even know, thing that we're doing to where we're just openly, stealing countries from people and taking over. At least we used to lie in the 70s and 80s, right? And it's open now. So these are all things we talk about. I met you
memes about it.
Yeah. No, God dang, it's so sad. I met you working with the ACA and doing nonprofit work and other activist work. I've currently kind of branched out on my own. I started a nonprofit last year called Hope and Anchor Community Outreach, mainly focusing on the Houston area. It's an interfaith type thing to where I appreciate where people's main thing is stuff like secularism, definitely showing from the get-go, I'm not part of this, So what I've noticed is that I kind of took a step back, and a lot of my good friends, for whatever reason, are religious. And I don't know why they keep me as friends. They like to keep me around. Like I am, me, I'm very open, very blatant. I've been targeted in legal stuff and ones, thankfully, for my openness and blatant support of things like trans issues and being
Mm-hmm.
queer and being an atheist and being part of the Satanic Temple and things like that, you know. So um, I decided I kind of wanted to maybe merge and not like, what can I use with my present resources and affect my local community?
Yeah.
So I started doing little odds and ends things. So we donated our time to my buddy David Armis's MMA and boxing gym. I welded up and Helen and everybody raised some money for it. We welded up a big boxing ring that's like transportable, because he works with like at-risk youth and
All right.
adolescents and young adults in North Houston. The gym's opened up now, and he also works with other gyms. Recently put on a boxing event using the ring, and I donated my time. You know, it's people raised some money to buy some steel and welding consumables, but that was, you know, we donated some time, and then David is very involved in his church and in his community, and being involved in fighting. There's a clothing company called Bull Shirts, but they have a sideline called Jesus Didn't Tap. That's kind of their thing.
Okay.
And he donated $1,000 towards the ring and towards David's cause. And
Really?
so that's what I'm saying. So, and it's interesting because I've got a good buddy of mine who's an Orthodox Jew, who works in his synagogue a lot. He and I share very similar political leanings, and we're very anti-Christian nationalism. And so we work together and we think about things. So what I've noticed is that for whatever reason, somehow, some way, I'm able to like bridge some kind of gap
Yeah.
with religious people. And I've just been working with different people. Some of the people that are on our like provisional council right now are religious, but they also share progressive values.
Yeah.
So as long as they're not like delusional in their religious stuff,
Right.
and it's just like culturally appropriate and normal for this culture and all those things, and they're not, you know, saying that their prayers are giving them better direction than reason and science, and you know, then we're good, right? You know, those,
Right.
and I'm the people that I work with who don't have those issues, you know. So it's interesting because my buddy David that I mentioned, who I work with and I'll be training with tomorrow morning, and he you could see him. I mean, the guy's had 40 some odd pro fights and worked in the, you know, trained and fought and coached fighters in the UFC, and you see him
Wow.
travel the world doing it. But because of him also speaking out against current Christian nationalist, racist, bigoted behaviors by
Mm-hmm.
people, he got more or less blacklisted from. So he approached me because he knows kind of where I stand, and we were talking about it, and he knows what I'm trying to do, and we're like, hey, let's combine for enemy of our enemy, you know,
Okay.
enemy of my enemy type of thing. So I know it's a
I
lot of
love this.
information.
No,
Okay,
this
cool.
is beautiful because I freaking love this. I didn't even know we were gonna get into this kind of subject here, because this
Yeah.
has been my kick for a while now,
Okay,
man.
I
This
didn't know
has
that.
been, yeah, this has been the thing I have just been freaking pounding the drum of, you know, to all of the people in our broadly non-religious,
Mhm.
atheist, you know, secular
Activist
space,
type
right?
thing. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, because those are the communities and the peoples we have to work with, man. I mean, that is
yeah.
exactly the way that we are going to be able to push back against, you know, this horrific wave that has just been sweeping
Mhm.
the nation over the
Yeah,
last few years.
yeah,
And you know it, you and I know it very well because you're in Texas, I'm in Tennessee.
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, we're on the front lines of it. And when you started saying, oh yeah, man, like most of my good friends right now that are, you know, standing with me, you know, protested this stuff, they're religious, they're going to church regularly, and that is the same thing that we've got going on in the
Mhm.
Nashville area now, and it is exactly what we need to be doing. We cannot be shying away from those people because they are ready to help, man.
Oh no, it's funny because okay, so we've got a project starting out with me and some guys in Austin. Excuse me, and they've been in all fancy, famous bands all around Texas, playing in a band called Dead Horse. That if any metalheads know the name, and
Nice.
you know, and stuff like that, and other bands with guys like in DRI, and you know, so we have a good little mix. And one of the main songwriters is my buddy Scott, who's a religious guy,
Mm,
you know, but somehow I'm the vocalist. And
nice.
he's like, do what you say, what you want to say. And it's interesting because like we share the same values. We've been having the same discussions, and I mean, he's not a crazy person. He's a great dad. He,
Yeah.
you know, really good riffer. It's kind of, and it's a very politically minded band. We named it Death Camp but it's like Megadeth, DEF,
I love that.
DETH, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and because it's like a political, it's like the whole idea of the Malthusian stuff and
Mm,
like social, the CIA, everything we kind of started talking about and how they're more or less engineering our minds by just social conditioning. And it's not conspiracy. It's just, there's a reason Google has an ethics committee,
yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
humans are easy to steer. So, and you just get them afraid and they're easier to steer because their IQ shit. It's just terrible what they can do. So, but it's funny because he's a religious guy. The singer of one of my other bands, Burden, he's a religious guy. I got buddies who started going back to church and stuff. They're religious people, but
Right.
like their values are not so diluted by delusional,
Yeah.
politically charged, just hate mongering. That is,
Mm,
they use religion to, hide behind. You're just a fucking serial killer in disguise at that point.
yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, no, I can't. How could I not align? Because, dude, they're the majority. Religious people are the majority.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, despite the huge increases in our groups over the years, I mean, not only does it seem like we've leveled off, but
Oh, it's
we
going
made
to
it
level off.
yeah,
Pew
we made it to
Research says
about
it is.
yeah, we made it to about a third, which I mean, isn't bad. That's really
Yeah.
good, but that means that 2/3 of people are
Well,
still
dude, come on.
religious.
Oh yeah, exactly. And they have shared heuristics
Yes.
that we don't have, and that we don't. And as we get further and further away from those interactions, we don't understand what people are saying. We stop being able to communicate with each other.
Right.
So, I mean, it's in my line of work with like, I supervise big welding projects and things like that. And I mean, I'm working with a bunch of conservative guys, a bunch of people who
Mm,
are religious, I mean, it's just, I'm in Texas, man, around a bunch of like
right.
conservative Anglo people and Latin American people who grew up religious. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if I'm just going, well, I'm an atheist. I mean, dude, I'm just, how am I going to even like have a conversation with somebody if I'm just
Right.
like, and then I'm like, oh, you believe that? Fuck you. And I mean, dude, like, I know a lot, and nothing against them. I know a lot of people who cut off people who voted for Donald Trump.
Mhm.
And cool, yeah,
Yeah,
I get
I
it.
understand.
I get it. But currently, we have some people running for some stuff here in Texas, and I won't name names. And I was having a conversation with my buddy Scott, who I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
and he's like, I'm going to vote for this person. He's like, well, how could you? Because of this, this, and this, and this. And I said, look, I'm not voting for them. I'm voting for who I want to fight against.
Yeah.
It's like picking a fight, from having
Yeah.
cage fights, you get a kind of, everybody agrees, you consent. This is who I'd rather fight against. Also,
Mhm.
one of the candidates, I literally have personal information that this person has uh essayed. I guess that's the word we can use on here. I don't
Yeah.
know what, essayed people
Yeah.
whenever he was younger and in school, and got away with it because he's a rich kid.
Yeah.
And this person who's telling me this and explaining this to me grew up around this, wouldn't say a thing like this. This is like a person would be ashamed of telling a lie type person,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
very strong
Very
moral
credible
center,
stuff.
very educated person who grew up in those circles because their family's a little more well-to-do growing up. And I just told him, I go, I can't vote for somebody who assaults women.
Yeah, for sure.
I I I don't
I
care.
get that.
I have to. I literally. I just can't. So, but the thing is, what he said, he goes, well, I don't know if that's true. I can't verify that that's true. And because of because I can't verify that, I go, cool, suspend judgment. If you don't believe me, then cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I get
And
that
good.
too.
And then he's like, and according to his policies and what he's proposed versus what this other person's proposed, I have to vote for him.
Yeah.
So if I can extend that into somebody like voting for Trump and some of the reasonings people gave me,
For sure.
and then with the media they take in, how they've been conditioning, where they live, who they are, their genetics, their predispositions because of the cultures that were, 20 generations before them, and things like that. Of course, that's the choice they're going to make.
Yeah.
I'm not changing any minds.
Yeah.
The only way you can't like make someone change their mind. You can't like imagine if I tried to make you feel some kind of way. You
Right.
need to feel this way about something.
Right.
You're gonna be like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of instantly get a little
Yeah.
defensive, you know?
Yeah. But if I'm like talking about it and
Right.
discussing experiences with it and bringing up other things and maybe a thing, and I'm just like, oh yeah, don't you think that's interesting? You're like, yeah, that's cool. And then you go
Right.
back home and you're like, wow, I was thinking about that. Like, I'm not against trying. I am fully against trying to change somebody's mind.
Yeah.
I'm just all
Yeah.
about evidence. Sorry, I'm ranting. You got me
No,
thinking
no, no, no.
about
You're
this.
good. No, that's what I
All right.
want. Honestly, the more you talk, the better it is for
Oh,
me
okay.
because
Well, I like
I have
listening to
to
you
think
talk,
of
man.
less. I have to think of less questions and stuff. But no, you bring up a really, really great point, and I want to bring it back to real quick. The welding project that you did for this guy and his gym, because that's so interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're talking about meeting people where they're at, and
Mhm.
I just think that is such a powerful way for us to join forces and
Yeah,
coalition
dude.
build. And that is what we have to do. Like, look, let's just be honest, you know? Do I think it's a little silly that people still think like an afterlife is a thing? Like, sure, like kind of, but also does
I
that
don't.
does
I
that
don't think it's
that
silly.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's fine.
yeah.
And does that belief make that person a bad person? Absolutely not. Not in
No
the
way.
slightest,
Not
right?
no, not at
Does
all.
does that belief really tell me much about that person at all? No, you
No.
know? And if at the end of the day, like you're talking about, our values align to such a degree where we're standing up and saying, yeah, it is really disgusting that, you know, trans kids just aren't allowed to exist anymore, you
Dude, come
know?
on, man.
Like it's disgusting that we're putting people in cages for really no other reason than the color of their skin, you
Mhm.
know? Like if we're standing together on that, I don't give a damn what book you read, you know?
No,
Like
I
that
literally don't
doesn't
care. Well, I
right,
mean,
it doesn't matter.
if you somehow, some way, you did this over here and I did this over here, but we reached this.
Mhm.
I mean,
That's
what am I? You know what it reminds me of? It's like latent evangelicalism.
oh, yeah.
It's like I know the truth. Now I'm going to fucking tell you.
Right.
And if you don't believe me, you're bad. It's concrete
Mhm.
thinking. It's
Yes.
black and white bullshit,
Yes.
and
We
eh,
have that on our side, unfortunately, just the same as every other side because we're people just the same, right?
well, and I think we're people who haven't done enough therapy and we're people who
Mm,
haven't done enough critical reasoning about ourselves.
yeah,
I mean, we still act like fucking victims. I mean,
yeah,
we are, but we act like it still.
yeah.
And that's the thing. And yes, you're persecuted, but like do you just like stay traumatized and not get help and
Mm,
not reach out and not challenge yourself and expose yourself, or do you just become violent and vehement and cut those people away? Look, I don't know. I vacillate between a lot of those
yeah.
because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, uh, people don't make choices. They have no free will. They do
Mm,
what they do, and I'm not changing any minds. And if I look at life that way, really meat and potatoes, I'm like, fuck, I need to protect my family.
yeah.
And then those within those first two circles, that's all that becomes important to me are those
Mm,
first two circles, right? So if I feel under constant threat, no matter if it's perceived or fake or real or whatever, I am under constant threat
mhm.
in my mind. I'm gonna boil everything down. I'm gonna get everything very meat and potatoes, and everything's gonna be fuck this. This is scary. It's bad.
Right,
So whereas I feel justified because you know of already being attacked for these
right,
things,
right,
and my kid being attacked, and my family
right,
being targeted, and people
right.
lying about me on legal
You've
documents.
got evidence that you are under threat. You
Yes,
are under attack. I
but
mean, it's
also imagine if you're raised saying that everything's evil around you.
mhm,
But then you see like your kid's got some gay teachers now, some openly
mhm.
queer teachers, whatever
Yeah,
openly queer means. You've got you've got some fucking your kids listening to some metal or something loud or something that just doesn't
right,
agree with you or
right.
something with somebody twerking or whatever. You've been told to watch out for this and this is evidence of evil.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
your threat mechanism is going to kick in. You're
Right.
going to boil down And what are you going to do at that moment? Are you going to protect, or are you going to try to pay somebody else to protect?
Yeah.
You know, I think the difference maybe in my case is I'm like, I don't trust any of these motherfuckers.
Sure.
But in the other case, these other people have been conditioned to appeal outside of themselves for protection.
Right.
I appeal inside of myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
close. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I think there is a lot of truth to that feeling where when there's so much in front of us and it feels like there's these, attacks coming from all directions. Again, rightly, wrongly, really doesn't matter. Although I think we can all agree there's definitely a lot of attacks coming right now from many directions. You kind of close in, and your ability to expand that circle of care and so forth, it becomes very difficult. It becomes almost impossible for you to, pay attention to
it
all
is
of these
impossible.
other things. And that is kind of the playbook, right? They
Yeah.
want to distract you so much that you don't have the ability to focus on the things right in front of you. And that was why when you talked about, hey, we got some people together, we raised a little bit of money, we built this, a ring for this guy, and, he's able to do this with it and that, and it helped him do this. Like, that is why I love those types of, projects and programs so much for our community, because again, it reaches people where they're at. And it says, look, man, if you don't have a fucking ring, you don't have a gym to fight in, man, which means you don't have revenue coming in, which means you're worried all the fucking time, which means you're not able to take care of yourself and your family. You're not able to build up your community. You're not able to push back against this garbage. So you know what, man? Let's build you a fucking ring.
100%.
I love that. I love that, man.
Well, I mean, we were sitting there and I was tattooing him, and we were just talking about it, and I mean, we were just talking about tattooing and training and fighting. We fought for the same organizations. He's got a lot more than me. I had a kid, and I mean, I kept training. I'm still a machine, but I couldn't justify doing the fight like competitively thing. Now I can. I mean, I'm still like a younger, older fighter. I'm in my early 40s. A lot of fighters, Andrei Arlovsky just won the bare knuckle title at 47.
No way.
Yeah, man. And he looked like a fucking beast.
That's
against
crazy.
Ben Rothwell, who's like 45, who was a fucking beast. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm stronger than I've ever been. Man, I'm still running 3 miles in under 27 minutes. So,
no freaking way.
Yeah, man, still.
That's
and
huge.
I'm trying to get to 8-minute miles now. I want to be able to do 24.
Wow.
I hit like 26:40 like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So no, I'm trying, and I can do it. But look, all that said is that like the people I've trained with for a long time are great people. And I trained at a gym with some people for a long time that are awesome. There's I've had difficulty clicking with the majority of the people at that gym, and I've always just kind of kept to myself. And I think there's just maybe a cultural difference. And I've been really branching out, trying to like train with and work with people that just feels more natural. And the thing is, like, some of those people end up being Christians. Some of those people end up being, honestly, one of my favorite coaches, one of my good friends, is Muslim.
Really?
Very dedicated Muslim. Super dedicated. And he's awesome. And I love this dude. And he's a great coach. My other buddy, who I've been tattooing forever and training with and sparring and coaching, he's been coaching me. Christian guy. I have a big Japanese back piece I've been doing on him.
Really?
I'm thinking my other, so like I started noticing that there was, especially in the realm of like activism that I've been working in the past like 5 years, that I wasn't really reaching. I started noticing the same kind of issues I was having at my gym, and issues with, I was like, I meet people like you, and then like Mike Hart, and then Forrest, and then a couple of AJ and a couple other folks, John, a couple of folks that I really like, we're able to like, we don't see each other for a year. Hey, let's party. All right, what's going on? It's easy.
Right.
Forrest and I jump back into talking about skinning people, and it's just having weird. Mike and I are talking about metal. It's easy. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to hang out. AJ lives in this. Our kids hang out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
like
that's family right there. But the thing I was noticing was that like a lot of the values being shared by some people,
Mm.
And a lot of the people who are in charge of certain things in certain areas, I'm like, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. And I disagree so much that I'm gonna have to move on.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't agree. You know,
Right.
I may have personal feelings, and I've shared some personal feelings about things over the years of,
Right.
I've shared like why I didn't, why I really love the people who own the gym and the people there. I'm like, hey, I gotta kind of go somewhere else. Nothing against you. You know, I've I've had to break up with bands before, kick members
Right.
out, or just be like, this band is done. And I'm just like, it's literally just because of this. Like, if this were to change, we'd be good,
Right.
but this is unchangeable. So, and so, yeah, so I don't know. I say all that to say, like, I think it's really important to like look in yourself and realize what your
Mm.
real values are. Now, if your values literally are, I am fighting against religious authoritarianism and the mind brain rot that is religion,
Mhm.
which I agree with, then you should run with that. And
Yeah.
if that's naturally fucking fight until you fucking puke and die, like just get it, But like in my case, I play in hardcore and punk bands. We've got a
Right.
really diverse group of people. I work in welding industry and I hang with a bunch of fighters. That's a big diverse group of people. But also I have that activist mind and I want to fucking fight back. I got that punk rock ethic. So in my mind,
Yeah.
that's going to be where it's most effective.
Yeah.
You kind of
Definitely.
combine all your skills and like, how can I take everything? I'm a
Yes.
welder, I'm this, I can fight, I can jam, I can do all these things. How can I take these things and kind of put them all together?
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
then affect the most change while also not burning myself out and trying to convince people.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what's going to be the most fun, the most effective. And also how am I able to keep my family safe while I'm doing these things? And then that'll change as my kid gets older. Maybe I can become more involved in like, I don't know, other things that are more dangerous. But like right now, the danger level has already been high enough.
Right.
Just being open and saying things in front of people using your real name and shit like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for
I
sure.
don't want to like, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of these things go on whenever you think about activism while having
Mhm.
a family, while having values.
It's a risk.
Well, dude, while having values that literally get you targeted
Yeah.
by people, literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
anybody who we know who's watching this, who's been involved. And we've talked,
Mhm.
they know what I've had to go through. My family's had to
Mhm.
go through, and it's a lot. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it because at the end of the day, fuck you. At the
Yeah.
end of the day,
Yeah.
fuck you. Yeah, literally,
And
fuck
it's
you.
and it's just who you are to your core, man. I loved I've been doing these chats with a bunch of different really
That's
wonderful
great.
people and stuff. And when I reached out to you, I think, you were one of my favorite responses when it came to like, hey, what should we talk about? Because one of the phrases you used was punk
Jesus.
rock queerness. And I
Jesus
I
Christ.
I love I
Yeah.
loved that concept, and I instantly told some other friends of mine, and they were like, "Oh, that's so badass," and I was like, "Right?" And one of the reasons that I love that term, and I wanted to bring it up, now, is because there's something that I feel is a big through line through punk rock, through queerness,
Mhm.
through all of the stuff you've been talking about, and
Yeah.
it is this welcoming, inviting kind of attitude,
Mhm.
but also this very strong, protective, we're taking care of our people and we're not putting up with shit kind of attitude. And I think there's so much about that works so well together, man. So I would
Mhm.
love if you could just tell us a little bit about what that means to you, how punk rock and queer identity and queer rights and stuff kind of all go hand in hand, and just your experience in general.
All right. How do I so punk rock, which I consider anything, metal, anything that's like not your even hip hop to me is punk rock.
Really?
It's well, yeah, because it's non-normative.
Yeah,
It
okay.
is a non-normative
Right.
sub or counterculture. In many cases, a counterculture, the hip hop culture, however you want to dub it. Well, it's that I guess maybe that's how I grew up. That the music that a lot of us listened to and involved ourselves in was more than music. It was
Mm,
it had an ethic behind it. It shared ideas, things like that. And that's why, like in Houston, a lot of the hip hop artists and a lot of the metal artists and the punk rock, whatever you want to label it, they're all very connected because
Very
it's got
cool.
that same ethic. And within that is a lot of queerness because, again,
Yeah.
that's non-normative. So,
Right.
of course, underground music, whatever it is. Like right now, I'm working on this kind of 80s synth thing with a really good friend of mine that I'm laying down some guitar tracks for. It's really interesting. Yeah, it's what she does is genius. Trans chick, former sparring partner, Muay Thai world champion,
Wow.
former coach, got completely rejected by everyone at her gym and her whole family, every literal whole family, raising her kid on her own forever. I mean, amazing person.
Wow.
She's doing a music project and it's fucking awesome. I say that to say that it's like, to me, even that kind of 80s thing that we're doing is punk rock because
Yeah.
it's non-normative and it has like a heart of hatred. Now, there's a real controversial artist, a guy named Gigi Allen. A lot of people have
Mhm.
heard of him. And it's like, for me, Gigi Allen is like a love-hate relationship because,
Mm.
yeah, he said some troubling things. He really did. He was a junkie, drug addict, was just a bad, abusive, harsh person. But
Mm.
what was so pure about him, which is really interesting, and I'm sure anybody who knows him will be like, what? Is that he told everybody, this is what I am.
Mm.
This is punk rock. He goes, you're all this fashion shit, all this. He goes, I'm danger. It's like, you come to the shows, you know what's going to happen. Don't stand within 5 feet of me. If you know what I'm saying, it's
Yeah.
like and there was any,
Interesting.
it was, so there's something very raw. Somebody like Billie Holiday, she was raw and
Yeah.
pure and fucking just so, and you see different artists that have that spirit. Somebody like Jimi Hendrix, somebody, and they're so punk rock because they're so just naturally against it. So I think what
Yeah.
happens with punk rock and queerness and maybe the tattoo stuff and other kind of scenes, if you want to put it that way, to kind of,
Mm.
conglomerate it, there's so much intersectionality. Um, there's like, okay, so the singer of one of my bands, my buddy Ryan,
Mhm.
a lot of us grew up in like the non-racist kind of traditional anti-racist skinhead scene.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know when a lot of people hear the word skinhead, oh, Nazis. No, 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 no. Skinheads originally were people, working class and people of color.
Right.
Rude boy, you know what I'm saying? This came from Jamaican type music, rude boy stuff, and evolved into working class stuff for different cultures. It's only later that boneheads, stole our style.
Co-opted it and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just like every other fucking piece of shit asshole LARPing like a fucking,
Right.
whatever. So it's interesting to me because like you grow up that way and there's so much diversity. Everybody's so different. And then they're hanging out at the tattoo shop. And then, but this one gay bar has really good drink specials. And then this one dude, and, so you're all kind of, everyone's just kind of hanging out and mixing,
Right.
and it's got the same vibe. Now, I guess the reason, like queerness, like for me, that's a good word because it doesn't, like, I'd rather say non-normative, but that's a boring
Mm.
autistic word, right? You know what I'm saying? That's me just being
No, no, I like
non-normative.
that. No, I
But
like that.
it's to me, the word queer is abrasive, right? Like,
Mm.
but it's abrasive in a way that we can take back,
Yeah.
type of thing. I've lost relationships with family members, good, because of me coming out. I've
Yeah.
had people, just like what they all do. Oh, you're a groomer. I mean, dude,
Mhm.
fucked
Yeah.
people in my dude, and and but I'm not one to take it lying down. I'm an aggressive motherfucker. I'm smart. I take care of my kid better than anybody ever has.
Right.
I fucking work hard. I do all those things. The problem is, but I've also done a lot of work on myself. I think the problem is that a lot of queer people, they've been victimized and targeted for so long that they're broken down.
Yeah.
And they're also don't want to, who wants to do violence? You have to be a maniac like me to enjoy violence. I giggle when I get hit in the face. It's like, it's that, but the thing is, like,
And
there,
just to real quick to remind the audience, he is a trained fighter. Okay,
yeah,
this
well,
is what
yeah,
he
yeah.
does. Is like it's not like he's just walking around just punching people.
Well, not
on the
anymore.
street.
No, it's funny whenever you actually like start doing that, That's the main reason I got into it, because that's kind of the life I was living, and I got targeted. So it's crazy. But I digress. I think that there's such a rage in that punk rock spirit,
Yeah.
and there's such a there's like a velvet, they call it Velvet Rage, really good book.
Mm,
There's like a rage within the queer community that they're like meant for each other.
mm,
And I think the more we investigate ourselves as humans, and the more we look at each other, I know this is a controversial take, but my partner agrees with this, and a lot of people have been talking about this. I am fully convinced that every human being, save for the 7 to 10% on the tips, are some flavor of queer
yeah.
in one way. Like, to me, being like straight and being gay are the
Right.
same fucking thing. It is
Right.
because your attraction is wholly dependent on like a presentation, a genitalia,
Mm,
a very prescribed specific combo package.
right.
Well, I don't think that's the case for most people.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, even if they're like into watching other people fuck, they have a preference on how the woman looks, on how
Uh-huh.
the man looks,
Oh, yeah.
on how it's being. So
Oh,
if you
yeah.
really
Things they
investigate it,
do, things they say. Oh,
things
yeah,
they
they've
say, what
got
they look
yeah.
like,
It
I
took
heard,
me out of it when that guy said this. It's like, "Oh, really?"
oh, you
It
were
did.
watching the guy. Dude, that's what I'm saying. So I heard a joke. Somebody, God, I forget what it was, but I'm going to butcher it. But it was kind of like, I was talking to my buddy, and I'm like, oh, yeah, everyone's a little gay. And he's, oh, I'm not gay. He goes, oh, yeah, man. He goes, I bet you like watching porn with dudes with real small dicks. He goes, no, I like a big old, and he stopped.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So,
right.
it's one of those things that, and you're some flavor of queer.
Right.
And I think it's really silly that me in my 40s, as a guy who's been fighting for 20 years, big guy,
Mm,
6 foot, 200 pounds, you know, would have any trepidation about coming out,
mhm.
coming out when
Yeah.
everybody's fucking gay in their own way. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
it's, but at the same time, I had every reason to.
Yeah,
Lost friendships,
yeah.
family members got targeted,
Right.
people people literally targeting my family because of it. They use transcripts from the ACA against me.
Yeah.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like,
It's
it,
just
it's
crazy.
it's insane. So I think if we can, like punk rockers, you kind of like, don't fuck with those motherfuckers. Don't
Yeah.
fuck with them. Don't fuck with those guys with the shaved heads and boots, and some guy with some spikes, or some dude who
Right.
fucking has fun running around in circles getting hit. You don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
I think queer people should be start really grabbing that identity of don't fuck
Mm,
with me and running with it.
yeah, for sure.
It's
And
I don't
you're
know. So
there
that's kind of,
absolutely is
yeah.
a history there. I mean, that's,
Mhm.
Stonewall, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
my kid.
that's the
Mhm. Yeah.
exact fucking through line.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm so glad you brought up, about your experience with coming out, and how that was navigated by so many different people in your life, because there are many people, unfortunately, I think, both inside our non-religious community and outside of it, but um, I have these conversations with, and I want to talk about the progress that we haven't made yet when it comes to
Bro,
accepting non-normative people of any stripe, right?
bro,
And they'll tell me things like, man, nobody really loses their friends and family for being gay anymore.
bro.
That's not really a thing. That we did that back in the early 2000s, and then like somewhere when gay marriage got legalized, like everything was good, all the queer people got rights and everything, and we're just done with it, and it says a lot, in my opinion. And let me be a little
Mhm.
stereotypical if I can with you,
Go
Jason.
ahead.
It says a lot, in my opinion, that somebody like you, who hits like 9 out of 10 of the check boxes for what the vast majority of people would consider to be, your stereotypical just dude bro, you know, badass hardcore kind of dude, right? Tattoos head to toe. You're a fucking tattoo artist yourself. You're in punk rock bands. You fucking weld. You work with construction workers, and something as tiny, in my opinion, as saying to somebody, "Hey man, you know, I'm bi," you know,
Yeah, that dude's hot.
That could radically change their view of you. And that is it is just such a stark, frustrating reminder of, despite the progress that has been made, which of course it has, but despite that, this is still where we fucking are. That's just crazy to me, man.
I agree.
That's just crazy.
And if we're looking at our own kind of community thing when it comes to secular activism and things along those lines, one of the main reason I distanced myself recently and took some time away is because I watched that happen in real time with other non-normative people, i.e., people of color, female-bodied individuals, queer people, trans people, you know, subculture people, were treated poorly multiple times. And then when it was brought up, they were gaslit and treated even more poorly, and treated I literally watched it happen. And I'm like, wow, this is something else. And I couldn't agree with you more. That was one of the biggest changes I've made to my own personal pursuits and stuff in years. You know, so yes, I couldn't agree. That is yes, that the literal same behavior and the same isms and the same gaslighting and the same overworked, underpaid, overused, under considered shit is still going on. I'll tell you the one fucking thing that I hate more than anything in this whole fucking secular atheist thing is the presumption that you are somehow morally superior. The presumption that somehow,
yes, sir,
because it's the same thing. Like, God has nothing to do with morals, just like your atheism has nothing to do with morals. Your
right.
lack of accepting somebody's claim is a nothing burger.
Yeah.
It's a fake thing. What you said, I don't believe what you said. All right, moving on. Yeah, sure. There's all this stuff connected to it, but it in itself, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of atheists who believe in some sort of afterlife or reincarnation, or
Absolutely.
I have nothing in common with that.
Yeah.
You know, plenty of people. So the problem is that, like I said earlier, no one's doing any fucking therapy. No one's fucking working on themselves. And then what happens is when motherfuckers start doing therapy and start working on themselves, and they're like, "Hell, shit, I'm being treated like shit. I'm treating myself like shit." And they stand up for themselves. And motherfuckers who aren't working on themselves team up and gaslight the motherfuckers who are.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
I still see the same, it's just a business, you know, type shit that I saw whenever my youth group kicked me out. Whenever, you know, all these, it's the same shit. Well, I was just a business.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. You know, so then what are you selling community? I mean, is that your product now? So, and it's with the same business model that everybody else does.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, so yeah, I had to take my time and step back and start doing my own thing because of that.
Yeah.
That was the literal reason.
Yeah.
No
And
other reason.
I think that's incredibly good, that we all have an opportunity like that. I mean, you said it multiple times, and I love this mantra as well about, you know, looking in the mirror, and looking into ourselves. And again, yeah, man, I think you say everybody's a little bit more queer than we realize. Totally agree. I also think we're all a little bit more on the autism spectrum. And we all need a little bit more therapy. I think all that shit's going on. And one of the reasons, you know, I know that is because you just hear about so many different things for decades and decades, and you recognize like, oh man, we are 60 years deep into being traumatized. And like, we're just starting to look around and realize like, oh my God, this entire industry is designed to just crush the people that work in it and churn them out, you know? And it's like, you aren't able to really, you know, get that perspective until you take a few minutes to go, hey, what are my values again? What do I actually care about? What does matter to me?
Oh no, I agree. That's I'm sorry to cut you off,
no,
but
please.
that was one of the things that I am still bitching about with some people. Because what I saw was what I see and what I've continued to see is loyalty to the brand, loyalty to the cause. Oh, I'm loyal to this community.
Yeah.
But then I see also that if you're loyal to this brand, to this cause, to this community, you still have access. You still have a platform. You still have your benefits, while other people don't.
Right.
But I'm loyal to this.
Right.
So what I had to do was look at myself and be like, well, no, I'm loyal to my family and my
Right.
people, to my community. And when it's funny, whenever the people I've actually become closest to and we share the same values, and the people I have just natural, easy flowing daily conversations with, talking about life, my friends, family, and they're all each dealing with the same thing. And then I'm seeing it. I have to believe people.
Yeah.
And I have to treat them as though they're telling the truth. So at that point, I have to look at it's the Jungian discussion about sacrifice. Very good thing. Jung had some crazy shit, but man, his early stuff about anxiety disorders, cognitive dissonance, sacrifice, really, really good discussions. Sacrifice is actually sacrifice. Like, you have to give up something that you want. You have to give up something that is important to you, that you don't want to do. Oh, I can skip a meal. Well, then that's not sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's withholding until later. True sacrifice is, I'm not going to eat this week so my kid can eat. You know what I mean? True sacrifice is, I have a platform. I can do whatever I want. People like me doing this, but I also have values. So I don't ever want to be the person that my benefits outweigh my values, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Other people, but the thing is, the difficult part is this, is that, let's say you stop doing a thing. Let's say you stop playing in a band because you and some other member don't get along, but the other 4 guys stay in the band.
Right.
That's on them. I have
Right.
to do what's right for me.
Right.
And I cannot judge them. I can have my feelings, but at the same time, or I can judge them, but their experiences in my, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole thing. Now,
Yeah.
if I'm leaving the band because me and this dude just keep arguing, that's one thing. Yeah. Now, if I'm leaving the band because I found out he, like, you know, harmed a child or a woman or
Right.
whatever, or his partner or whoever, and you stay, fine, fuck all 4 of you too. You know what I mean? So I think that's the hard thing, to where it's like, if somebody literally sees something going on and admits that they see it going on, but then does nothing about it, then you have to distance yourself from those people.
Yeah.
But if somebody sees something going on and they're not convinced, then, like, that's kind of the difficult
That's
part.
harder.
That's harder, you know, it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think,
because I'm with you when it comes to the free will discussion about, like, we're not consciously actively
No.
choosing these things. And
not at all.
I think when you do view the world like that, it changes. It definitely changes the praise and blame calculation on people.
Forgiveness too. Yeah.
Yeah, I blame people a lot less. I praise people a little bit less.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely am more willing to forgive because I recognize that, you know, I just kind of, yeah, great book for it. Yeah, for sure. And I just don't, you know, I don't fully have that choice in the matter, right? And I know they didn't either. And it's a bummer
100%. Yeah.
sometimes, but it does. It really changes the way you view this stuff, I think.
But, and I agree with you 100%. But then also, if somebody is who they are
Mhm.
and they make the choices they make,
Mhm.
the expectation that it's going to be different after you've seen a pattern
Correct.
is also your error.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I go into like I'm not trying to change anybody's minds anymore.
Right.
Like their minds are changed by information.
Yeah.
It's a passive thing. So why would I keep pissing against the fucking wind? If
Mhm.
it's so and I keep pissing, I'm like, why is it getting in my face? It's just like,
Right, right.
come the fuck on, man. So I think that's like when it comes to putting time into causes or dedicating time to exploits that are important, I think that's probably the most important thing to look at is like, are you
Mm.
just pissing in the wind?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or I mean, or are you being bought and sold type of thing?
Yeah, that definitely is a thing as well.
You know,
We do know that happens. I
and
do
are
love
yeah, I don't
oh,
know.
so I do love the idea of, you know, let's quit beating our heads against the wall.
Hmm.
We've done the big debates, right?
Hmm.
Where we talk about all the errors in the Bible and why logical fallacies, blah, blah, blah. We've done
Sure.
all of that. And
Yeah.
it seems like the wall is still here. And
Yes.
if we are not willing to try different tactics and different methods, like, sure, we don't know that any of them necessarily are going to work, but if we know this one isn't, we need to start trying other things. Otherwise, we're never going to make any
Yeah,
progress.
I agree. I think I've seen multiple approaches that I've been concerning. I mean,
Mm,
you can whenever somebody like the way you handle a narcissist
mm,
is you treat them like a narcissist. They're fucking
right.
delusional. They're telling a narrative that doesn't exist. Everything they say is a lie. You know? So how do you treat people like that? You're like,
Mm,
"Okay, buddy." You don't take them serious.
right.
You don't respond to the 6 things they just said.
Right.
You know, you keep on track. You do that stuff. But you also don't get emotional about it either because it's predictable as fuck,
Yeah.
right? So I don't understand the plus like what you said, there's people who they do that better than I'll ever do that.
Mm, yeah.
You know? So, but it's also not that hard to do because
Yeah.
it just kind of boils. It's like if you want to have the conversation, it may be taxing, but it just boils down to, I mean, fucking prove it, man.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
literally fucking prove it.
Right. Every
It's like,
time.
but then you start going and be like, oh, that's invalid. That's not sound. That's internally contradictory. Just fucking prove it, man. You can't fucking prove it. Well, blah, blah, blah. You okay, cool, bye. You know, done. Cool,
Right.
bye. There's no
Right.
conversation. But I know that doesn't make for good entertainment. I know it
Of
doesn't make
course.
for and it's also helpful to listen to these super helpful to listen to these conversations. There's a strong value in it. But what else is there? What about the ground level? So what about stuff that's
Mhm.
like, I mean, look, I stand on a stage in front of people and tell them they're full of shit.
Mm.
And, you know, I'm not, you know, I stand on stage in front of sometimes 20, sometimes 1,000, you know, fuck you, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's good. I like that. We're face to face now, motherfucker. You know, the singer of my band, The Burden, is super involved in activism. And like him and a bunch of his buddies, a bunch of like the traditional non-racist skinheads out here, they would form barrier lines between the cops and the BLM protesters. They
Yeah.
would form barrier lines between the assholes who came with Matt Walsh to U of H and the trans people
Right.
who were fighting against him and the queer people. So these are the people I'm around, the people I'm with, and the people I work with daily with these types of activist pursuits. We're nose to nose with people. I grew up fighting Nazis.
Yeah.
Like I'm fighting Nazis, guys sig heiling in the fucking yeah. No, it's so it's insane to me to see that same fucking bonehead dumb fuck ideology
Mhm.
on the world's biggest stage.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same words, the
Yeah.
same people that we beat with bar stools and slashed their tires and, you know? And you know what's funny? They instigated it first every fucking time.
Yeah, just like they're
Every time.
doing now, in my opinion, just
Every
like they're doing now.
bro,
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, I vacillate between, like, I don't know how, like, I've got the letter, to the Birmingham jail, letter from
Yeah.
Birmingham jail, Martin Luther. I've had it on my desk. And while I understand his sentiment, I tend to listen to Malcolm X talk more.
Mm.
You know, I don't really know where to go with this, because if you just lay there and let somebody beat you,
Mhm.
you're going to die.
Mhm.
So, and whenever everybody you're voting for is benefiting from the most corrupt way of doing things, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. And with, like, what's going on right now with all these lists and all these things and all these
Mhm.
people coming out, I just know how we dealt with the Nazis. I just know how we dealt with them, you know,
Right.
and they left. They stopped coming to shows.
Yeah.
They didn't show up anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't come around. So, and there was always more of us than them,
Mm. Mhm.
way more of us. And there
Mhm.
always has been, and there
Yeah,
always will be more of us than them.
I agree.
And what's interesting is that we're the ones who know how to operate the machines and fix the stuff and weld the stuff and run the stuff. They're the ones writing paychecks.
Mhm.
So work doesn't have to stop ever.
Mhm.
We're the ones doing the surgeries and driving the EMS and running the gas stations and pumping gas,
That's right.
and they're just writing paychecks from their house.
Right.
We're the ones flying planes.
Right.
Sadly, we're the ones policing.
Mhm.
Still working class as much as you
Mhm.
as
Which
much as
means we're the ones that have the ability to do something.
we're the
We're the ones
ones.
that can fix it.
I mean, don't forget, there's a lot of black people who hunted black people,
Mhm.
a lot of slave catchers who,
Mhm.
yeah. So it's we do it to ourselves. What I
Yes.
really, I'll tell you, and I know I'm rambling. What I really hate more than anything, especially, yeah, is this guy is the problem. This representative that was voted in
Right.
by a majority of people
Right.
based on the things that he said he was going to do
Right.
is the problem. This
Yeah.
one guy, Pol Pot, was the problem. Well, what
Mm.
about his army?
Mhm.
Castro was a problem. What's his name? This guy's a problem. This other guy's well. What about, like, Hitler?
Yeah.
Didn't gas everybody.
Right. People ran those camps. Other people. Yeah.
You know, I found out that whenever they invaded Poland, that the Polish citizens were offering up Jews.
Really.
They were the ones helping.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised,
The
unfortunately.
baker and the doctor and
Mhm. It's
yeah.
just ingrained in us, unfortunately, to kind of, and that's something I think that's one of those inner demons that we all struggle with, and that's why we have to be so focused on human rights and stuff. That's why we have to have, again, that punk mentality of
Mm.
protecting our own and not allowing others to come in and make our space intolerable, right?
Oh, I fully
Because
agree.
because we without, again, we're the ones driving the trucks, we're the ones baking the fucking bread, we're the one, doing all the damn work, which
Mhm,
also means, you know we're the ones that fuck shit up, we're the ones that do the
mhm.
bad stuff, we're the ones that, and we need to be focused, because if not, it's just going to turn to bad stuff, because the bad people will take advantage.
I
that
don't
that is.
I don't understand this, like, feverish need for external justification to do terrible things. Like,
Correct.
to me, it is so fucking cowardly.
Right.
I've been doing, even before I fought. You know what I mean? Like, I got into fighting because I was fighting too much.
Right.
And I know violence really well. And it's fun, but it's when it's not mutual combat, or somebody steps in, when it's on the streets, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
and people fucking froth at the mouth for civil war, and froth at the mouth to harm people. Cowards fucking buy guns and
Yeah.
shoot people from far away.
Hmm.
You know, man, it's violence is awful. And I've
Hmm.
seen some fucking terrible things that I just regret, you know, and it's like you, I think it's like what you said, we just keep traumatizing ourselves
Hmm.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
And it's like the people who want it to stop are getting targeted.
Hmm.
It's a fucking, it's
Hmm.
what it really looks like. It really fought. The reason I brought up narcissism is because, and AJ will appreciate this, is it really follows the structure of a narcissist in control of the situation,
Hmm.
because they triangulate. They get these things called flying monkeys. That, you know, it's what it sounds like, you know,
Hmm.
and they triangulate. They idealize, devalue, and discard.
Hmm.
We love you. I love you. They love bomb you, and then they knock you down and drain everything from you. It's called
Hmm.
narcissistic supply. And then they throw you away because they really didn't, they needed you for themselves.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing right now is a nation full of fucking just triangulated flying monkeys. We've got wicked witches of the West, and we've got a bunch of people saying, okay, yeah, you know, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, yes, master, you know, and it blows my mind.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when will that ever change?
Mm.
So what I don't know. You know, I'm kind of stuck in this, like, maybe not fatalist, but like, should I really just focus on my literal immediate family
Yeah.
and abandon this ship and
Yeah.
isolate as much as possible, because we're just literally fucked globally? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
stuck right now.
Yeah. I think that that feeling is definitely something. So I don't have kids, and I have heard from others that
Oh,
do have kids that is a sentiment that has definitely been on their mind as
yep.
of late. And I think this is a great moment to kind of move into that a little, because I think there is a real lack of discussion about parenting, especially in the non-religious space, especially in the non-normative space. I feel like there just isn't a bunch of good material out there.
Bro, bro, I
And
could teach classes.
right,
Fuck.
right. So that's what I want to touch on that a little bit, man. And I know this is there's no fantastic answer. I'm sure it's a shit question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, man. So with all this stuff we've been talking about, right?
Mhm.
The crap left and right that's hitting our fans and is just showering down on us. What does a father do in that moment? Do you completely isolate and just focus on the family? Do you go out there and try to be on the front lines, putting up that barricade? I mean, how are you navigating this right now with a child, man? I mean,
Okay, so let me see, what can I talk about? So a few years ago, like my kid and I mean, he's in the room with his best buddy, right? You know, they got no school today, so they're partying and yelling and having fun.
it's awesome.
Really good, really close with their family. Another queer family and non-normative, and
Heck yeah.
really, really cool. So amazing parents. So a few years ago, I always knew my kid wasn't going to be the normative. Just knew it from the beginning. Gave them a non binary name,
Nice.
you know, one that could go anyway going on. Now they've definitely I think they're on name number 8 right now that they're working
Heck
on,
yeah.
see what fits. I mean, whatever, dude,
That's good. Good.
that kid's just been bro to me forever, dude. So whatever,
Yeah.
dude, so cool, call you whatever. Um, but then they also recognize that, like, in certain legal senses, we have to use this, and certain things we have to use it, just because
Yeah.
of whatever. So a few years ago, I started really recognizing that my kid was starting to really um, behave more in ways that are more fitting to them as a human. Their affections towards certain people, they're being more open about. They came out to me about they like this person. I'm like, I knew it. Of course, bro. Of course I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? How did you know? I'm like, dude, come on, man. Whatever. You're stupid, And then my kid was doing some other stuff, and I actually talked to some people about it. Like, well, maybe they are having some gender stuff, and I'm like, oh, of course they are. Of
Yeah.
course. So, and then of course, my kid tells me how they feel, and again, they're young; they're 14 years old, so they're still working everything out. So I'm like,
Right.
cool, cool. We can, my wife being a therapist, me, uh, most likely, if as long as the world doesn't end, starting graduate school this fall. But
Nice.
my wife is a therapist, has a psychology practice. That's what I'm going towards. While also running group and stuff here soon. So we've definitely been educated in these things. So cool. You can cut your hair how you want to. You want to
Right.
dress how you want to. Change your name. Cool. Yeah. I mean, do your normal teenage exploration stuff. That this is the time
Yeah.
for you to do it, and I give you support. Now, um, yeah, uh, I'm not with their birth mother,
Hmm.
and haven't been for a good while now. We don't align
Hmm.
on this stuff. So, how can I talk about this? We recognize that my kid had some needs, some
Hmm.
social needs, some school needs that weren't being met, and so I filed for a modification of some
Hmm.
stuff. Very basic. We need to change some things with school and money and homework. Up until then, everything was 50-50, on paper, 50-50.
Right.
But then after you find out that people are trying to rob you blind multiple
Hmm.
times through illegal means, and then your kids reporting that they're not, things just they're not being treated in ways that they want to be treated
Right.
by multiple people on that side of the family. Um, and then, we have to file modifications. So, what I dealt with early on in a very basic child custody modification thing became a what I dealt with early on was I became targeted
Mm.
by people who were not actively involved in mine or my child's life.
Right.
People filed uh, people presented things presented things in the legal arena that were awful and
Mm.
lies, and of course easily, you know, defeated, but
Right. Still.
just terrible things.
Right.
And then you know, people like my father, people that I considered family, and and it had nothing to do with, like, these people aren't involved in, like, my kid's
Right.
life. They're not involved in
Right.
money. They don't know what's going on. Just blatant lies. Things like, well, just like when somebody like just accuse you of being schizophrenic type things.
Mm.
People accusing you, I guess, that term groomer, stuff like that
Yeah.
stuff. Just
Yeah.
let your mind run wild. Any weird lie that you could tell about somebody. Jason's aggressive and
Mhm.
he abuses drugs. I was like, oh my God.
Mm.
Oh my God. Jason's unemployed, as I have like three, bro.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
it's so, and then I started getting accused. It's So when people talk about being accused of like giving their kids hormones and being accused of
Mm,
these things and everything they have to go through
right.
to like deal with that, it's all true.
Yeah.
All true. And it has, I mean, luckily my kid has been in my sole custody
It's
since
awesome.
first week of July.
That's
They're
amazing.
happier and healthier than they've ever been.
It's amazing.
They have great therapists that affirm them. They're they're diagnosed autistic, but are in just regular old gin pop classes
It's awesome.
and advanced classes. And one of them they're getting high school credit in, and they're getting A's.
Heck yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's amazing.
It's a lot of work, but they're healthier than they've ever been. They're
Yeah.
happy. They're extremely involved in extracurriculars. Um, and these are the things that I'm able to do and that I was doing, but able to do on a full time thing while also affirming my kid. They have a program, a queer program. There's like a center here in Houston. My kid goes to twice a week, support group. So my kid's literally in therapy 4 times a week now. My kid's in therapy 4 times a week. Has a really good close. We built our family. They're very good close friends. One of their best friends is trans kids. It's like a couple blocks away. Another one is who's hanging out here right now. They went to school with and stayed friends. They there's their first like dating experience in fifth or sixth grade, you know, and now they're just best buddies.
Yeah.
That's kid stuff, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we've through this we found people, parents, families, built friendships based on this, you know, and what's really funny to me is that these people who said terrible things about myself, lied about
Right.
me, lied about my kid, said terrible things about my kid, terrible things about queer people, terrible things about trans people, um, and just like I said, just straight up lying. They're You're not around my kid. What did you think was
Right.
going to happen? Did
Yeah.
you think that this was going to like make my like they treat these children like the parents are steering them and making them do a thing.
Yeah.
My kid loves me. I love that dude. It's my bro. It's my best buddy right there. I'm still a dad. I'm annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to listen to me.
Yeah, of course.
He doesn't give a fuck about what I say.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
argue during math homework. I mean, it's just how it is, man. It's
Right,
parent shit, man.
right.
But he also knows I have his best interest in mind and I can protect him. And we talk about very deep things. You know, it's so when people are trying to frame you as like this neglectful, grooming, inappropriate, atheist, violent activist person, all that you have is the truth.
Mm,
So that's what I say. You don't answer a narcissist question. You just tell them, you
right.
just present the truth. And it took so long because these are all people that are very virtue signaling. Again, I
Yeah.
vote Democrat. I'm this and I'm this. And
Right.
I'm a good person. I'm a good person. But behind, like, you see what they say and you
Yeah.
see how they feel. You literally see how homophobic and racist and bigoted and classist they really are.
Mhm.
Then all you need is for them to show it to everybody else. And
Yeah.
that's the scariest thing is that these people, they know how to not show it to other people. But if I've learned anything about fighting, you don't you don't gas yourself out in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, there's always more rounds. So generally,
Yeah.
the person who comes out swinging early, a lot of times, you know, they can't make it through the rest of the fight.
Mhm.
So what happened is these idiots gas themselves out by just doing dumb fucking decisions. And now my kid is safe and protected
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
them.
And that's an
And
amazing outcome.
that's in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
That's as a guy with tattoos
Yeah.
literally everywhere, open atheist, openly queer,
Yeah.
openly leftist, not a liberal, openly leftist. In the most, and if you know anything about Fort Bend County in Texas, the most conservative county in the United States, truth still prevailed.
Yeah. See, that's
So,
beautiful.
and I mean, it's,
And they're happier, safer, healthier because of it, man.
well, you know, it's when you find out your kid is getting like targeted on social media that you don't know about and are
Yeah.
given access to things that you don't know about. I mean, it's just the amount of disgusting things that we're going, it's just so gross.
Yeah.
So but people are so good at like playing the same game and putting up these same like faces, and they trust each other. And this, again, I've said this, I think, on every discussion I've had with anybody about this stuff. So I'm probably repeating myself. I call it the bar room scenario.
Okay.
It's okay. If you spend any time at a bar for like, have you ever had like a home bar where
Oh,
you've
for
spent a
sure.
little too much
Oh, for
time
sure.
at a
Oh, for
bar for
sure.
maybe a couple of years?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking. I grew up bouncing in bars and playing in bar. I know bars.
Right.
So the thing about a bar is that everybody has their lies, right?
Mhm.
But you know what you never do? You never question another motherfucker's lies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know why?
Because
Because
they
yours
go
are gonna
call
get,
you out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think what we see at a bar is the purest, the most obvious form of how these people navigate their lives.
Mm.
They they're I don't know. I couldn't do it. I would just, maybe it is the autism. I couldn't be disingenuous and like hide in
Yeah.
plain sight. People are trained to do that. So when they speak the same language and do the same things, and they oh, look at him, he's different, he's different, he's different. They can play it for a long time. But
Mhm.
once you drag their fucking bullshit into the light and you find the right people, you may prevail. I say may because look, I don't know. My biggest advice, if you have a queer kid or if you're queer,
Yeah.
stay the fuck off of social media.
Yeah.
Keep your fucking kid off of social media. My kid was getting targeted. I didn't know about it. I finally found out about it.
Mm.
It was being facilitated by people that should not have been fucking facilitating it. And it was fucking disgusting what was happening. And then what I found out is me posting about stuff and me like talking about this got me fucking targeted.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to deal with, you got to stay off fucking social media. You got to keep your kids off social media, man.
Yeah.
Like you literally do. And then people, I don't want to sound like some boomer because boomers are obsessed with social media.
Well,
But
I'll say that, yeah, right. That is so true, by the way. That is so
yeah,
fucking true. But I will say this. I heard that recently the Australian government did something about banning kids under like 14.
good.
I don't know the full ins and outs of it. But from what I did get, the snippets of it sounded really good. I think we all should probably take a little bit less time on social media, honestly.
Well, bro, yeah. When I found out my kid was on a social media platform years before they were even legally allowed to be on it.
Really?
And
Yeah.
then it's crazy. You tell people and people are like, what do you mean? What? I don't get it. I'm
Yeah.
like, do you see what's going on here?
Right.
Do you see who's running it? Do you not see, but then it finally, like, it got to the point to where like they had a friend who was, they got exposed. They had a friend that exposed my kids to some very dangerous situations and some
Mm.
pretty fucking gross stuff that we just had to step in. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was, yeah, really, really bad.
So what would you, because I think there's been so many great things that you have talked about today, man. And there's so many more that I want to go into, definitely gonna have to just have you back.
Cool, man. Yeah, let me know.
What it seems to me, again, as somebody without children, as somebody who has many friends that have a similar background and history to what you've discussed in a bunch of different ways, and some with kids, some without. And what would you tell somebody who has a child who either just had this conversation with them, like you had with your kid? Hey, pops, mom, I'm not really this thing, that everybody else kind of tells me I am, or I'm gonna explore a little bit, or I'm gonna change my name today, or those types of things. It seems like there comes a lot of uncertainty, a lot
Mhm.
of very difficult and just frankly scary situations. What would you say to somebody has just kind of found themselves in that space? How can they navigate that in a way that keeps them protected, keeps their kids protected, and just makes a better world, I know that's a tough one, but
Well, I mean, first and foremost, if your kid tells you that, you should be like, cool,
yeah.
let's go shopping, or
Yeah.
whatever. Let's go
Yeah.
get a haircut,
Love
whatever.
that.
Cool. Bear with me. I've been calling you this for so long. Sorry, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
Just apologize automatically. Um, then after that, I think the next thing you just got to kind of look at where you're living, man. And you got to
Mm,
look at your local community. We dealt with so much shit. God dang it. We still deal with it. It's just still dealing with it,
mm.
and I don't know. It's hard. Like you need, like, okay. So I'm just trying. So if you're in a case, let's say you have, and I know a lot of people are in this situation. You're a parent and you have a kid and you're a single parent, or let's say you're divorced or separated
Mhm.
from the other parent and you're the supportive parent. Uh, and the kid tells you that, honestly, best thing to do, get a lawyer, start talking to a lawyer,
Yeah.
literally start talking to a lawyer, start thinking about things like modification. Sorry, because I'm sure if the kid's telling you, I know, and it's funny, it seems like a very nuanced thing, but it's not. It's a very, there's always that, either it's no supportive parent or like one. You know what I'm saying? You're lucky to have
Right.
two,
Right.
but
For sure.
that's, you need to take it about as serious as it can get right now. That's about the most serious thing you can deal with right now. Any sort of gender or sexuality stuff involving your kid, anything non-normative right now is probably is probably the thing that you need to put the kid in counseling. You need to get fucking counseling. You need to learn how to navigate this socially. You need
Mm.
to educate your kid right away about, sometimes we have, sometimes either we have to refer to you as this because of whatever, you know,
Yeah.
or count the cost. If you want to be blatant about it, you have to count the cost, because you
Yeah.
will get targeted in some way, shape, or form. I just possibly move. We changed schools multiple times because of it.
Really.
Like multiple. Oh yeah, yeah, we had to. I mean, it's just what it is. Get ready for family to abandon you and target you. Get ready for community to abandon you and target you. Get ready for friends to abandon you and target you. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen. It will fucking happen. People
Yeah.
that you didn't think it would will. Get ready for you yourself to be considered an immoral, dangerous person for your kid to be around.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
Also, get ready to start thinking about some things about yourself that you haven't thought about in a while.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, whenever the more and more I'm learning about humans, the more and more you realize that traits and behaviors and stuff are heritable. A lot of stuff is passed down. Now, of course,
Yeah.
you have environmental and epigenetics and triggering of different things. But, you can see in twin studies, if one, with queerness, there's pretty high probability of other queerness in there.
Yeah.
So if your kid is telling you this and you're the comfortable one, maybe you need to look at yourself, and
Yeah.
maybe there's some things that you also need to think about.
Yeah.
Maybe there's aspects of your gender or sexuality or your gender expression or your sexual expression that may not be matching either, so that I
Mhm.
think there's a personal thing too. And then maybe start looking at your expectations. Like, do you have expectations of your kid? I don't really have expectations. I have
Yeah.
more like obligations than anything else. So I think it's, because if they're saying that, it's, a lot of times kids say that either really, really young or
Mhm.
puberty ish
Yeah.
times. So
Yeah.
I think it's easier when they're really, really young. Um, I think the puberty things I've noticed are a lot more difficult,
Mm.
because kids have more of an androgynous look as they're younger.
Right.
You can grow out hair and dress them and condition
Right.
them, and let them condition themselves and learn how to, like, let's say you were assigned male at birth, but you're a chick, and you're like 4 or 5, you still have a lot of developmental stuff going on. So
Yeah.
they can understand, like, you know, their regional chick heuristics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They
Right.
can they can learn how to navigate. Because I've heard a lot of people who transition later in life, and they said the hardest thing is, like, sometimes communicating with other women in
Mhm.
ways that they want to, or
Right.
communicating with other men, or even knowing how to communicate as a non-binary person. Like, I don't even know how to interact with anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of times non-binary people, you brought up autism. A lot of times that's
Right.
kind of a thing too,
Mhm.
because you're like, I don't, this world has nothing in common with me,
Right. Right.
and being an autistic person and I've been very aware from a young age, and I would write it in my journals at a young age. I'm like, I do not know what these people are doing.
Mm.
I don't know why they care about the things they care about. This doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like I'm standing on a hill watching everybody else on this other hill do a thing. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are y'all doing? You
Yeah.
could just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting this way?
Yeah.
We could literally just have fun.
For me, it was when emojis a handful of years ago really started getting popular and
No.
everybody was using the faces all the time. And I had to ask people constantly. I was like, hey,
What do you mean?
what is this feeling? And they're like, oh, it's this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I see it now. I just until you
Oh,
said
no,
it.
no. I had somebody send me one the other day and I was about to be like, are you fucking mocking me? And I'm like, it's like, what are
Yeah,
you doing? Why
yeah,
are you sending
yeah.
me that? Why are you doing
Right,
that?
right.
But then everybody's like, why does your face look that way? I go,
Right.
like what? Why does it look flat? I go, I don't even know what you're fucking saying.
I know.
Why are you asking me about my face? You know, I mean, you have the weirdest face in the world. I don't fucking even know what
Right,
anybody's saying. Y'all care
right.
about the dumbest shit and
Yeah,
speak in riddles and like, it's what? You people
right.
fucking just like talk and nothing
Oh,
means anything.
I love
So
that, dude.
yeah, it's
No, I think there was some absolutely incredible stuff, man. Again, I love the intersectionality of punk rock and queerness. I love the inclusivity. I love the strength in numbers,
mhm.
protecting our own and
Oh
and
yeah.
and holding strong to that. Man, we just absolutely touched so many incredible topics today, dude. I am really, really appreciative of you giving your time, and I want to make sure that people know where to support your work and the nonprofit and stuff, man. So please shout that out again, and I'll make sure to get all the links from you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have the nonprofit is called Hope and Anchor Community Outreach. I got the org, the .com, the .net.
Nice,
I'm building the website right now. I'm not
nice.
good at that stuff.
Me either, man. It's a bitch, isn't
It's
it?
bad. Well, I did a Squarespace thing that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
apparently
that
it's supposed to be
helps.
really helpful.
Yeah,
And so what I'm doing right now, like we do some small community outreach, but I'm building different groups right now, like
awesome.
different like support group type thing, almost like informal group therapy vibes. It's interesting. Like right now, I'm forming like a single dad's group. I'm focusing mainly
Oh,
on guy stuff
awesome.
because I'm a dude, but I have
Yeah,
other people who are going to be focusing on other stuff.
that's
So it's going
good.
to be like a single dad's is like a dad's slash single dad's group, queer mask group, you know, for all
Yes.
spectrums of mask, and then like a spiritual trauma recovery group. And I'm getting all that set up right now. It's going to be super affordable. Um, and there's I've got manuals and I'm ready to go. You know, we're
That's
just
awesome.
now's the time to start doing it after the holidays, first of the year type stuff. So we're doing that. The bands I play in a band called Pack Mentality. Our Instagram is Pack Mentality Hates You, and it's just angry leftist queer aggressive hardcore punk.
Hell yeah.
I just in my mind, like ignorant hardcore punk shouldn't be reserved for ignorant people. You know, it's
Yeah.
very aggressive. You can decide whether I'm promoting violence or not. Um, and then I play guitar and do backups and write a good amount of the music in a band called The Burden.
Mm,
And we're starting to tour. We have a new record coming out.
it's
We have an
awesome.
Instagram called The Burden HTX. And we have a full length getting released here in the States and in Europe here in April. Have some, we're touring with some like classic hardcore bands for our record release shows. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm
It's
definitely
awesome.
stoked about everything. So, and then my Instagram is Aches and Pain. So, you know, you can check me out and talk to me about stuff and start looking at the Hope and Acre stuff. I'm going to make a Hope and Acre
Yeah.
Instagram soon and just, you know, try to help some motherfuckers.
That's so freaking cool, man. I
Mm.
really, really appreciate you being here, man. And for everybody out there, of course, we're going to have all those links in the description. So please hook up with him, connect with him, learn about the cool stuff that he's doing. Go check out the music. And yeah, if you're in that Houston, Texas area, man, I mean, this is a guy to know. Go get a tattoo from.
Oh yeah.
Go get some fighting classes, man.
Yeah.
Get those elbows up, man. I mean, this is the dude to have on your team. So
That's party, man. Yeah. No, I forgot. Yeah. I do what's it called? Appointment tattoos at Grim Cat Tattoo up in the north
nice.
side here in Houston. Great shop. Really good people. Very queer friendly.
Hell yeah.
Lot of chicks work there. Super cool. Everyone there is amazing. Better than I am, you know. So
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, thank you so
Oh, thank
freaking
you,
much.
man.
Seriously, this was so awesome. And I'm definitely gonna have to have you back to talk
Please.
more about a bunch of different topics, man, because you've always got really, really cool stuff to say. I've always enjoyed our conversations, and
Thanks,
your
man.
your your experiences, man, are just fucking crazy. And I love hearing about your life, man. I live vicariously through you.
Shut up, too. Yeah. Next time we'll talk about getting out of drug dealing from a trap house stuff. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
gang stuff and
I
getting
love
getting
I
jumped.
love to leave these videos with a cliffhanger. So that is
All right.
absolutely perfect. You guys stick around for next time because you are going to hear some wild fucking stories. I am positive. Awesome.